Today's Murli, sweet children, in order to receive blessings from the Father, become worthy, serviceable children, and give everyone happiness. Don't cause anyone sorrow. That was a point for self-respect today. Give everyone happiness, share happiness with everyone. Don't cause anyone sorrow. Question: in order to free yourself from the punishment of Dharmraj, what godly disciplines do you have to pay attention to? In order to free yourself from the punishment of Dharmraj, what godly disciplines do you have to pay attention to? Having made a promise to God, don't disobey Him. Don't cause anyone sorrow. Those who become angry, distress others, or behave in a way that would defame God's name will have to experience a lot of punishment. Therefore, don't perform any such actions. No matter if an illness breaks out, or how many storms of Maya come, remain constantly free from doing anything wrong by using your intellect to judge what is right and what is wrong. So basically what Baba is saying, under stress, under extreme conditions, situations, all your weakness comes out, sanskars come out, and then you probably lash out, react, and give sorrow or behave in a bad way. So if your mind is not strong and stable under such conditions, then all your old nature sanskars are going to play out. So you have to be so stable that you can, control yourself and be able to use your intellect to guide you how to act, what is judge, what is right. Song: who has come to the door of my heart? Om Shanti. Who said Om Shanti? Bap and Dada. You children would definitely have the faith that a father from beyond this world is the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul Shiva. And this one, Brahma, is the subtle father of all the children. Only he is called Prajapita Brahma. Could anyone except Prajapita Brahma have so many children? He didn't have them before. It was when the unlimited Father entered him that he became Dada. This Dada himself says, you receive the property of the Father from beyond this world. Grandchildren are always heirs of their grandfather. Their intellect's yoga goes to their grandfather because they receive a right to his property. When a child is born to a king, he would be told that it is the property of his elders. They definitely have a right to the property of their elders. You children understand that you are claiming the sovereignty of heaven, the greatest property of all, from the unlimited Father. The Father is teaching us. You're now sitting personally in front of him. The intoxication of sitting personally in front of Baba is experienced, number-wise according to your efforts. So there is no replacement for sitting personally face-to-face in front of the Father, listening to the Murli. The atmosphere, the vibration, is drishti, everything, does lot of subtle, gives you subtle power and intoxication. Some have a lot of love in their hearts of becoming heirs of God the highest on high, through this corporeal mother and father, Mama and Baba. The unlimited Father is so sweet that he's making us worthy of a kingdom. Maya has made you completely unworthy. Yesterday, someone came to meet Baba, but he didn't understand a thing. So obviously, if he hasn't taken a course, you just come and sit in the Murli class. What would you understand? Baba explained to him, all of these are Brahma Kumars, and you too are a child of Brahma and Shiva. He said, I am definitely that if you say so. Having heard this, he just accepted it, but it didn't touch his heart. The arrow that he truly is his child didn't strike him. Okay, if Baba said so, so it must be right, it must be true. But he didn't say that from his heart. He just accepted it intellectually. This one is also his child and is claiming his inheritance. In any case, there are many children here in which very little sits in their intellects. Happiness or spiritual intoxication is not visible. They come here, sit, because they want to follow Baba's directions, be obedient, be dutiful, but is not truly from the heart. The mercury of happiness should rise inside you. All of this is also revealed on the face. You brides are now being decorated with this knowledge. You know you are the brides of the bridegroom. There is the story of the farmer's daughter. A king married a farmer's daughter, but she didn't experience any pleasure in being in the kingdom, and he therefore sent her back to her village. So old habits die hard. So old nature sanskar of the way she was raised and way she lived in, simplicity or poverty did not leave her, right? So she continued to behave that way and not royally. So then the king sent her back home. He said that she was unworthy of being in the kingdom. And so Saint Baba's transforming us from beggars into prince. So if you're not going to behave like royalty in your self-respect and as a worthy child, then Baba says, then you always going to feel unworthy. Here too, the Father is decorating you to become future empresses. They say of Sri Krishna that he abducted women to make them into queens. However, they don't understand anything. They are all irreligiously minded. Baba said that in English, irreligiously minded. They believe that the world continues in that way and that is the nature, that it is the nature. There are many who neither go to temples, etc., nor even believe in the scriptures. Even the government doesn't believe in religion. They just don't know what religion Bharat had and what religion it has now. You children now belong to the deity clan. The father says, first of all, I change you children from impure Shudras into Brahmins. After becoming pure, you will become part of the deity community for 21 births. You will go into the laps of the deities. Previously, you were in devilish laps. You have come from devilish laps into God's lap. Then you are now going to deity's lap. Children of the one Father are brothers and sisters. This is a wonder. All of you say that you belong to the Brahmin clan. You have to follow Srimad, give happiness to everyone, and then show them this path. So if you're not happy following Srimad, then obviously you cannot share happiness with others. No one in the world would tell you how to claim the unlimited inheritance from the unlimited Father. You have found the unlimited Father. You have now become his children. You use your intellects to understand that those who claim their inheritance from the Father in the previous cycle will do so again. If their intellects have even a little of this knowledge in them, they would definitely come here at some time or another. They would come to receive something or other. Among you two, you understand this number-wise. Today, you have come here to become pure, and tomorrow, you become You've come here to become pure, and tomorrow you become
Atheist.
impure. It's a matter of today, tomorrow, and yesterday. So just like one day, the whole 5,000-year cycle, if you compress it, tomorrow is like 2,500 years have passed, and you become impure. When you are colored by bad company, you forget that if you leave the Father after belonging to Him, you would become a very sinful soul. When someone kills another person, that sin is accumulated in him. That sin is small compared to those who belong to the Father here and then divorce him. So you put it in context. Someone who kills somebody else would not accumulate as much sin as the one who knows the Father, belongs to the Father, and then leaves the Father, betrays the Father. That is a greater sin than physically killing somebody. They break their promise and become vicious. They accumulate a lot of sin. On the path of ignorance, they don't accumulate as much as they do on the path of this knowledge. On the path of ignorance, it is common for people to become angry. So then they don't incur as much karma as Brahmins would incur for that. Even little bit of even subtle anger, they would accumulate more karma than a person with no knowledge, even having displaying gross anger and violence. You receive Dharmraj's order, become pure. If after belonging to God, you disobey his orders, even slightly, 100-fold punishment is accumulated. So see the subtlety of that, right? Even slightly disobey the Baba in any way, the punishment is huge compared to somebody who's ignorant of this knowledge. That one is the creator. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar are also his creation. Dharmraj is also a creation. Baba gives you visions of the form of Dharmraj. You will then be shown the evidence. Look, you promised that you would never become angry or cause anyone sorrow. In spite of that, you cause sorrow and distress to so and so. So all the account will be shown to you, evidence will be given to you before the judge can pass the punishment, the judgment. So all the evidence will be shown, so you cannot deny or say no. It'll be all coming back, flashback from the past. You then understand. So he doesn't give punishment without giving you a vision. There has to be the proof. You then understand. Truly, I loved the Father and performed those sinful actions. When you defame God, there are difficulties experienced by many. There are so many innocent women in bondage. All the punishment is then accumulated by those who defamed the Father. This is why the Father says, if you want to see the greatest sinful souls, see them here, right here in the Yagya and the Brahma Kumaris and Kumaris, who after promising, keep indulging in vice, keep displaying gross anger, that is a great sin. If a laundryman has clothes that are really too dirty to wash, then when he beats them with a stick, they tear apart. There's so much sin, burden on the soul, that even a slightly something is said to them, Baba says something, they fall apart. Here too, when they're unable to tolerate a beating, they leave. Soon as any correction is given to them, little firmness is shown or sternness is shown, they leave Baba. Having come into God's lap, if you disobey him directly, there will have to be punishment. The head Brahmin teacher who brings others in a group has a very big responsibility. So the main teacher, the instrument of the center, has the greatest responsibility to ensure the students who go to Madhuban are places that they are firm in their dharnas, they have faith and they recognize God, they're following at least the basic principles that are in the Madhuban form. Otherwise, they incur the karma of bringing such a student. If even one person lets go of Baba's hand and becomes vicious, the sin of that is also accumulated by the person who brought him here. So, implying that the Brahmin teacher has to know each student so well that he or she is able to discern who's worthy of going, qualified to go to Madhuban, and who's not. Even if they're lying, teacher should be able to tell whether they're lying about at least the main maryadas, dharnas, right? No one should bring any such people into the court of Indra. There are also the stories of Neelam Pari and Pukhraj Pari, different fairies, different angels. When someone brought another person into the court of Indra secretly, there was a bad odor in the court of Indra. The one who brought the other person accumulated the sin. So you think you can hide from Baba, you bring somebody sinful soul, you can't hide from Baba. There are stories like that in which someone turns into stone, or they given a curse, and they're sent back to mortal earth, and they have to suffer the punishment of sitting in a gathering of pure souls. Baba is making you into lords of divinity. However, if you disobey him, you become stone and lose the great fortune of claiming a kingdom. For instance, if a poor person is adopted by a king but becomes unworthy, what would happen if the king then threw him out? He would become poverty stricken again. It is the same here. A lot of sorrow would then be experienced. This is why Baba says, never disobey me. Because the Father is in an ordinary form, you forget Shiv Baba and your intellects are diverted to the corporeal ones. Because he comes in such a simple, ordinary way, some Brahmins take him for granted or don't accept, or in their awareness they don't have that he is the Almighty Father. Right? And they forget his power, his virtues, and because he's being so generous and benevolent now, they take him for granted. You children are now receiving Srimad. Those who become dirty cannot then sit in the court of Indra. So the greater karma lies with the Brahmin teacher than even with the student. If the student is new and they don't know about the principles, and they are listening to the Murli for so many months, right? So they understand, but the greater responsibility still lies with the teacher. Every center is the court of Indra, where this knowledge is being reigned. So not just limit to Madhuban now, even at the own center, right? Who is sitting in the Murli class and who is listening to it. And of course, there is a period where you allow the students to understand, absorb, and follow the code of conduct. So of course, that goes on, for some time, but then the teacher decides when they have to be following all the codes of conduct, right? So there's a grace period, right? So every center is the court of Indra where this knowledge is being reigned. There are the names Neelam Puri, Pukhraj Puri. Neelam is a jewel. These names are given to the children. Some are very good, valuable jewels and don't have any flaws. Some jewels are full of flaws, whereas others are very pure. The jewels here are also number-wise. Some jewels are very valuable and do very good service. Instead of doing service, some do disservice. There is so much difference between a rose and an uk flower. Both are offered to Shiva. You now know who the flowers among you are. They are the ones people ask for. They ask Baba to send them those who are very good flowers. Now, where would you get good flowers from? The Ratan Jyot, a fragrant flower, is a common flower, very popular flower in India. So this is a garden. You are also the Ganges of this knowledge, and Baba is the ocean. This Brahma is the Brahmaputra, the biggest river of all. In Calcutta, the Brahmaputra river is a very long, and there is a very big confluence and gathering, Mela, of the ocean and the river there. Truly, Baba is the ocean of knowledge. He is the living ocean of knowledge. And you are the
Rivers of knowledge.
living rivers of this knowledge. That is the Ganges of water. In fact, the rivers are named after you. However, the devilish community have forgotten even this. They show a four-armed image in the Ganges at Haridwar. They even call it the Ganges. People don't understand who the four-armed image is. You truly become spinners of the discus of self-realization at this time. You are the true rivers of this knowledge. Those are just rivers of water where they go and bathe. They don't understand anything. They think it is a goddess. Human beings can never have 4 to 8 arms. Baba has to clarify that for some devotees. Right? They don't understand the meaning of anything. You children know what Baba is making you into. You were 100% senseless. So we thought that we knew so much before. We're so educated. From Baba's point of view, we were 100% senseless, Buddhu. By coming into Baba's lap, we become the masters of heaven. Although someone may be a king, there is the difference of day and night between the happiness of heaven and the happiness here. Among you, there are even some souls who neither understand the Father nor themselves. Each of you should check yourself to see how much fragrance you are giving. You are the living flower in Baba's garden. He's the gardener, and you have to check yourself what kind of flower you are and what kind of fragrance, spiritual fragrance that you give to others. Do I say wrong things? Do I become angry? That should be in your chart. The father can very quickly understand what a particular child is like from his activity. The father loves serviceable children very much. Not everyone can be loved to the same extent. For such children, there are automatically blessings emerging from inside. If a child is disobedient, his father would say, it would be better if he were dead. And it comes in the Murli quite often.
Yeah.
It would be better if he were dead. He defames the father name so much. So basically, disowning the child. This is called destiny. You can instantly tell what is destined for someone. Baba explains, this one is a worthy child and this one is unworthy. What can one do if someone doesn't recognize Bap Dada and doesn't have the fortune of claiming the inheritance? Nobody can change that. Even Baba cannot do anything if somebody doesn't recognize. They don't recognize. The laws on the path of this knowledge are very strict. But once you recognize, then you are obligated, it's your duty as a Brahmin to follow all Baba's direction, because now you have recognized. If a father becomes pure but his child doesn't, that child cannot then claim a right to anything. He, the father, would not consider him to be his child. He would say, I will make Shiv Baba my heir, and he will give me the return for that for 21 births. So renouncing your own Lokik children and making Shiv Baba your heir, your child. This doesn't mean that you can come and settle down here with Baba, that you leave your family responsibilities and come move in with Baba. No, you have to live at home and look after everyone, but as a trustee. It isn't that the father will look after your children. Baba's not running a daycare, that you can come and stay with Baba and bring all your family, move in with Baba with your children, and Baba is going to look after your children. No. No, those who have such thoughts go astray because they're basically looking for an escape from their responsibilities. Here with Baba, everyone has to be completely pure. No one impure is allowed to sit here. Otherwise, the intellect will become stone. Baba is not cursing anyone. Eh? This is a law. It just works automatically, karmically. You cannot be in a place where you don't recognize, you don't have faith, and you don't intend to follow any of Baba's directions. The father says, remain cautious. If you perform any sinful deed with your physical organs, you die. Spiritually, that is the end of your spiritual life. You die. And you go back to the old world and you become even worse. The destination is very high. After becoming a child of God, all the illnesses will erupt. Everything that never happened to you before starts to happen. All the karmic account starts to come. All your old sanskars, nature, illnesses come out. They have to, because impurity cannot live when you're trying to become pure. All impurity has to come out in different forms, in different ways. It will come out. Baba says, not to be scared of them, not to be afraid. Let it do its thing. It's coming, so it can take leave. So if you give into that, get scared, act it out with your sense organs, then you incur karma. Just let it play out and let it leave you. However, you mustn't be afraid. Even herbalist says, by taking this particular medicine, all the illness inside you will erupt. But don't be afraid. The Father himself also says, when you belong to the Father, Maya Ravan will harass you a great deal and bring many storms. So if the Maya hasn't brought you a lot of storms, then guess what? You haven't taken the medicine from the herbalist, right? You haven't taken a powerful dose. You have now received intellects to discriminate what is wrong and what is right. No one else has the intellect to discern between right and wrong. Human beings have non-loving intellects at the time of destruction. Even, even among you two, the intellects of you are loving number-wise according to the efforts you make. Those who have loving intellects will do very good service for the Father. Acha, to you sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children. Love, remembrance, and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to you spiritual children, and
the spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father.
Essence for dharana number 1. After becoming a child of God, don't disobey his order even slightly. For that you have to know all his orders, all his Srimads, and how to prioritize them, how to put them in order. So which Srimad comes first and how to follow all the Srimats. Don't do anything sinful with your physical organs. Don't use wrong words. Become worthy and claim blessings from the Father. Number 2, be a trustee and look after your household. Completely follow the laws of the path of this knowledge. Understand right from wrong and remain cautious of Maya. Blessing, may you become full of all treasures to quench the thirst of desperate, thirsty beggar souls. Just as people who are being swept along in the waves and are drowning, looking for the support of a straw, in the same way, when a waves of sorrow comes, you will then see how many desperate souls who are begging for happiness or peace will come in front of you. Everybody who's taken the course in the past, whatever, thousands and thousands of them, they will all come at the end. In order to quench the thirst of such thirsty souls, fill yourself with supersensuous joy, all powers, and all treasures. Accumulate so many treasures that you will be able to maintain your stage for all time and also enable other souls to become complete. Slogan, have benevolent feelings while giving others teachings, and those teachings will reach their hearts. Om Shanti. And today's Avyak signal, to remain constantly cheerful, be easy-natured and tolerant. To remain cheerful is a virtue of this knowledge, and you simply have to add spirituality to that. So, Churn, what does cheerfulness look like without spirituality? If spirituality is missing, soul consciousness is missing, what that cheerfulness looks like versus cheerfulness that comes from deep soul conscious stage and spirituality. What's the difference between the two? The sanskar of remaining cheerful is also a blessing, which will help you a lot at any time of need. Those who remain constantly in a cheerful state are able to make others cheerful, no matter what the condition of their minds may be. Those with an easy nature make a heavy atmosphere very light with their cheerful and happy face. Om Shanti. So, in order to have that kind of cheerfulness, obviously you would have to have done a lot of work on yourself, that you're not disturbed by anybody, by any atmosphere, situation, somebody's fluctuating moods, mind, yeah, their opinions, right? That you can remain constantly cheerful. Right? And so that's how deities are shown with cheerful face. So if you can master that, then you can bring lightness into a heavy atmosphere. Okay, Om Shanti.